The sheer audacity of what Brook Lynn is pulling right now mirrors the darkest, most twisted betrayals we saw back in the day, and frankly, I am sick to my stomach watching it unfold. We all knew she had a ruthless streak, but framing an innocent woman for a brutal hit and run? That crosses a line that even her fiercest defenders cannot justify. And the fact that Tracy is standing right there, covering up the blood on her granddaughter's hands with dirty money, just proves that some bloodlines are poisoned from the inside out. If you think this is just another minor bump in the road for these characters, you need to wake up. We are looking at the absolute destruction of a legacy, and the collateral damage is going to wipe out half of the town before the dust settles. Let us dive deep into the absolute wreckage that is Jordan and her tragic accident. The shockwaves from that night are still ripping through the town, and the sheer brutality of the crash left all of us gasping for air. But instead of focusing on finding the real culprit, what do we get? We get a masterclass in deception. Brook Lynn, in a move that I can only describe as purely diabolical, has joined forces with Lucy to completely hijack the narrative. They are spinning a web of lies so thick that it is suffocating the truth. Their target? Willow. Why Willow? Because Willow is vulnerable, and more importantly, she has no ironclad alibi for the exact time frame of the crash. Guys, if you ask me, this partnership between Brook Lynn and Lucy is nothing short of an unholy alliance. These two women, who have historically only ever looked out for their own selfish interests, have suddenly found common ground in their mutual desire to see Willow completely destroyed. They have been whispering in corners, planting seeds of doubt, and meticulously crafting a story about a mysterious third car at the scene of the accident. And who do they claim was behind the wheel of that phantom vehicle? You guessed it, Willow. They are exploiting every single loophole in the police investigation to paint Willow as a cold-blooded hit-and-run driver. The psychological warfare they are waging against Willow is agonizing to watch. Willow is already dealing with so much trauma, and now she is being dragged through the mud by a vicious rumor mill that Lucy is more than happy to keep churning. Everywhere Willow goes, she is met with suspicious glares and whispered accusations. The lack of a solid alibi is the noose around her neck, and Brook Lynn is the one gleefully pulling the lever. It is a classic textbook manipulative scheme designed to utterly break a person's spirit before they even step foot inside a courtroom. And for a moment, it genuinely looked like they were going to get away with it. But here is where the first domino falls, and it falls hard. Enter Chase. We all know Chase is the moral compass of this town, a righteous detective who believes in the letter of the law above all else. His initial instinct, naturally, was to defend his wife. He wanted to believe that Brook Lynn was just misguided, perhaps a little too eager to find justice for Jordan. But Chase is not stupid. He is a trained investigator, and when things do not add up, he cannot just turn off his brain. The inconsistencies in Brook Lynn's story started to nag at him, gnawing at his conscience late at night. When Chase finally started digging into the files regarding that mysterious third car, what he found shattered his entire world. The timeline did not fit Willow at all. The tire tracks, the angle of the collision, the scattered debris, none of it pointed to Willow's vehicle. Instead, every single piece of forensic evidence pointed directly back to his own driveway. The horrifying realization washed over him. Brook Lynn was not just framing Willow out of spite. Brook Lynn was the actual driver who hit Jordan that night. Let that sink in, guys. His own wife committed the hit and run and then orchestrated a massive, town-wide witch hunt against an innocent woman to save her own skin. I can only imagine the sheer devastation in Chase's heart when he confronted her. The betrayal is absolute. He looked at the woman he vowed to love and protect and saw a stranger, a criminal who was willing to destroy another woman's life to hide her own guilt. Naturally, Chase demanded a divorce on the spot. How could he not? The foundation of their marriage was built on a lie, and this revelation completely obliterated whatever trust remained between them. But as Chase prepared to do his duty and arrest his own wife, the situation escalated into something far more sinister. Before Chase could even process the paperwork, the most crucial piece of evidence, the traffic camera footage that definitively proved Brook Lynn was behind the wheel, mysteriously vanished from the police department's secure server. Poof, gone without a trace. And who do we have to thank for this miraculous disappearance? Tracy. Of course it is Tracy. When the chips are down, Tracy will always resort to her checkbook to make her family's problems disappear. She paid off a high-ranking official to scrub the files, proving once again that this legacy family believes they are entirely above the law. This right here is the vicious cycle I am always talking about. Generation after generation, they commit horrific crimes, and then they use their vast wealth and influence to bury the truth. Tracy thinks she is protecting her granddaughter, but what she is really doing is damning her soul. By erasing that footage, Tracy made herself an accessory after the fact to a major felony. She crossed a line that she can never uncross, dragging the entire family name into the mud. But Tracy's arrogance blinded her to the fact that you cannot buy silence forever. Just when Tracy thought she had successfully swept Brook Lynn's crime under the rug, a mysterious, unmarked envelope arrived at the mansion. I am telling you, the look of sheer terror that must have crossed Tracy's face when she opened it would be priceless. Inside was a pristine, high-definition copy of the exact traffic camera footage she had just paid a fortune to destroy. But the sender was not some disgruntled police officer looking for a bigger payout. No, the sender was none other than Sidwell. Sidwell has been lurking in the shadows for months, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and this is his masterpiece. He has a hidden agenda that goes far beyond simple extortion. He does not just want a quick payday, he wants a piece of the empire. Sidwell is using this explosive evidence to hold the entire family hostage. His demands are clear and uncompromising. Either Tracy signs over a massive, controlling portion of the family's assets and corporate holdings to him, or he leaks the video to the press, sending Brook Lynn straight to a maximum security prison for a very long time. Now, let us look at the impossible position Chase is in. He is a man of the law, torn between his duty to serve justice and his desperate need to protect the innocent casualties of this war. If he blows the whistle and exposes Tracy's bribery and Brook Lynn's crime, he ignites a legal firestorm that will consume everyone. And in the middle of this inferno is little Phoebe. Chase knows that a brutal, highly publicized legal war will traumatize Phoebe, dragging the child into a media circus that she does not deserve. He is agonizing over whether to protect Phoebe from the fallout or to finally put handcuffs on the woman he once loved. While Chase is paralyzed by his moral dilemma, the balance of power suddenly shifts to the most unlikely person, Willow. Through a twist of fate, Willow manages to get her hands on the truth. She discovers the depths of the manipulative scheme that Brook Lynn and Lucy used against her, and she uncovers the proof of Tracy's cover-up. Willow, the woman they tried to discard like trash, now holds the detonator that could blow the entire Legacy family to smithereens. She has the power to clear her name, send Brook Lynn to jail, and expose Tracy's corruption all in one fell swoop. Can you imagine the satisfaction Willow must feel? After weeks of being treated like a pariah, of crying herself to sleep while the town whispered about her, she is now the one calling the shots. She walks into that mansion, not as a victim, but as a conqueror. The irony is absolutely delicious. Brook Lynn tried to ruin Willow to save herself, but in doing so, she handed Willow the exact weapon needed to destroy her. It is a brilliant, poetic justice that only a true soap opera can deliver. But Willow is smart. She knows that dropping this bomb will cause collateral damage, and she has to carefully weigh her next move. The tension finally boils over in the courtroom. It is the climax we have all been waiting for. Brook Lynn is on the witness stand, forced to testify under oath. The pressure is suffocating. Chase is glaring at her from the gallery, his eyes filled with disgust. Tracy is sitting rigidly, silently praying her money will hold the line. Willow is watching with cold, calculated determination. And Sidwell is lurking in the back, a smug grin plastered across his face. The walls are closing in on Brook Lynn. She can feel the weight of her lies crushing her chest. And then she snaps. Brook Lynn completely breaks down on the stand. Through hysterical sobs, she confesses to everything. She admits to hitting Jordan. She admits to the unholy alliance with Lucy. She admits to framing Willow. The courtroom erupts into absolute chaos. The judge is banging the gavel, reporters are scrambling for the doors, and Tracy looks like she is about to faint. For a brief, fleeting moment, it seems like the truth has finally won. Brook Lynn is going to pay for her crimes, Willow is completely exonerated, and justice is served. But guys, if you think the writers are going to let it end that easily, you do not know this show. Just as the judge is about to order Brook Lynn into custody, the courtroom doors swing open, and a brand new, completely unannounced witness steps forward. This witness drops a bombshell that silences the entire room. They swear under oath that they saw the entire accident that night, and they have dashcam footage to prove it. But here's the kicker. The footage reveals that there was a fourth car at the scene. This fourth car did not just happen to be passing by. It deliberately clipped Brook Lynn's vehicle, forcing her to swerve directly into Jordan. Brook Lynn was not a reckless driver. She was a pawn in a meticulously orchestrated assassination attempt. And who was driving that fourth car? Who planned this entire elaborate nightmare from the very beginning? Sidwell. It was Sidwell all along. He orchestrated the crash, he anticipated the cover up, and he intentionally framed Brook Lynn so he could step in and blackmail Tracy for the family fortune. The sheer brilliance and absolute evil of Sidwell's plan is staggering. He played every single one of them like a cheap fiddle. He used Brook Lynn's panic against her. He used Tracy's arrogance against her. He even used Chase's rigid morality to keep the police distracted while he executed his masterstroke. Sidwell did not just want to steal their money, he wanted to watch them tear each other apart from the inside out. He wanted to break their spirits, destroy their marriages, and shatter their legacy before he even collected a single dime. This revelation blows the entire storyline wide open. Brook Lynn is suddenly transformed from a villain into a victim of a massive conspiracy, though she is still guilty of the horrific cover-up. Chase is reeling, realizing that his wife was manipulated by a monster, but still disgusted by her choice to frame Willow. Willow is completely vindicated, but now she is caught in the crosshairs of a dangerous psychopath. And Tracy? Tracy is practically frothing at the mouth, realizing she handed over her family's leverage to the man who nearly killed Jordan and framed her granddaughter. The lines are drawn, and the battle lines are more chaotic than ever. We are no longer looking at a simple hit and run, we are looking at a full-blown war for survival. Sidwell has proven that he is the most dangerous predator this town has seen in decades. Chase has to decide if he will fight alongside his estranged wife to take down Sidwell, or if he will let the family burn. Willow has to decide if she will use her newfound power to exact revenge, or if she will walk away from the toxicity. And Tracy has to figure out how to outsmart a man who is always 10 steps ahead. The ultimate question remains. When Sidwell finally unleashes the full force of his wrath, who will be the first to end up in a body bag?